wild casting. They give us wild gameplay, as was the case in our previous game. We'll give you wild casting. But for now, it is a very serious pick and ban.
Yeah, I think this game, the winner decides into... Although first and second doesn't really matter in the group, it's more of an ego thing. We're a better team is what you can basically say if you win this and do finish first, and it gives you confidence coming into round 2. So I think both teams will take this game seriously, and they will both try to win it. But the bans are quite odd. Rumble, Morgana up. We might see a jungle trade here.
Rumble for now. I feel like Rumble overall just the more powerful champion, especially when it comes to team fights and early dueling, but obviously you can never underestimate the utility of a Dark Binding or a Black Shield. So Mad taking their time here. They're not really in any rush to lock in Morgana. They could wait till pick 3 if there's other priority picks they want to prioritize.
Yeah, and something both these teams might run is AP jungle, double AD solo laner. Renekton being banned, maybe Nara is kind of high priority now. The Lucian again with the Morgana jungle. Maybe they just want to do double AD solo laners and pick their jungler on 3, which could be an option, or pick the Morgana, play it safe, pick your top laner on 3 perhaps, and just go full AD. Bot lanes go to 4-5. This could be what we could see in this draft.
You could go Lucian Tristana here and deny the 2 premier AD mid laners.
Drafting King Dracos.
I'm just saying it's an option.
We'll see if they do that.
I don't know enough about that to say if that's a good decision, but Tristana is still very oppressive. Instead, they're going to go for the Kai'Sa, though.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, because Karsi's been playing mostly Tristana this MSI, so they're going to first rotate the Kai'Sa away. We'll have to see how PSG respond. Maybe Doggo wants to go for something like Tristana himself. There it is. But I think they're denying the Kai'Sa from Doggo. He has 2 games on Kai'Sa as well. I think they're maybe just denying it, getting him off a little bit of comfort. But I expect them to perhaps pick their support on 3 then. Something like a Nautilus or a Rel or a Leona, those kind of things on 3 you'd expect. But then leaving your jungle to 4-5 is risky. So Morgana's still up. We'll have to see how Mad Lions want to draft around that. But the Tristana's picked up for PSG. Flex to mid AD.
No surprises there, as you already noted. Obviously have the time to take that flex that could take it away depending on what they opt to lock in here, but I like the Leona paired alongside it. Very aggressive bot lane is now set up. Also the freedom to ban away supports in the second phase, assuming that Mad don't lock theirs here. But if Mad, of course, opt not or opt to lock a support here, they will most likely give up the Morgana jungle, so we're expecting Morgana on 3.
Yeah, you'd expect Morgana on 3, but they could match support here and go for Nautilus. That would make a lot of sense as well. They could also go for Nara and ban out some more top laners, try to target that. The Tristana is still a flex, but El Yoyo going 4-5 wouldn't be the first time. He has got Olaf, he has got Volibear, even Udyr, Morgana. There's lots of junglers up for him, but I think with Lucian mid, something like Morgana is just the best kind of fit. There it is. So now PSG can ban away supports. Maybe things like Nautilus Rel they want to take away. And I think Mad Lions might want to target the top lane pool because Tristana's a flex. It's a bit difficult to hit that. Maybe pick top lane on 4 and ban away 2.
And I think it has to be so tough for both these teams to draft knowing that they're already through to the next stage, because on the one hand you want to win decisively, but it's also against your best interest to reveal any new picks, any new strategies, because ultimately win or lose here is not consequential for the next stage. This is about confidence, this is about stage experience, this is about making sure your players are comfortable for the next stage, making sure that they can find wins when they need to, showing the best performance you can, but it is not about revealing strategies. This is not a do or die match, and that puts kind of a weird spin on picks and bans as we now see the Victor banned away. Maybe another control mage could come out and follow, trying to make sure that the AP options in the mid lane are limited.
Yeah, it's a tricky subject because the game itself doesn't matter, but winning the game gives you a good ego and confidence boost. So is it a trade-off of showing too much, or is it just a trade-off of let's get the best practice possible and just show up and maybe just have the confidence coming into group stage? Looks like both these teams want to win. Looking at the drafts, as we see, like you said, Victor banned away, Wukong from Armwood's going to be banned away. Maybe they want to invest in a Nara ban as well, but it looks like Mad Lions think that Tristana's going bot, which makes sense. Doggo has played a game of Tristana in MSI so far, so they expect that to go towards the bot side. Targeting away a Nocturne as well. Scared of the Nocturne Rumble comp. I think something RNG ran that, I think day 1 or day 2 of MSI. Looks very powerful, especially against things like Jinx, so they want to make sure they shut that combo down.
And in general, those 2 champions just so obnoxious together because the team communication just goes to hell in a handbasket the second the Nocturne ultimate comes out. When you throw an equalizer across the team too, your communication has to be flawless or you will be dissected in the following fight. But now the Alistar are going to be the final ban away here.
Okay. I think Mad Lions should just last pick top there unless they want to pick Nara on 4. But I think if they do that, Hanabi can just play his Jace into Nara. Good matchup for him. So I think blinding that might be a bit risky. And then just leaving top lane to last pick. But we're looking at support. We still got Nautilus and Rel open. Best kind of pairings with Kai'Sa. Engage support is what she needs. But we'll see how Mad Lions, obviously they're talking, see what they want to do here. They want to go for support on top. I think PSG will respond quite quickly, but they're going to pick away the Jace. So we expected Mad to pick Nara, and then PSG to pick away the Jace, get a counter matchup. And if they went for something like the Nautilus, then maybe they were scared of the Nara being taken away or something like this. So we'll just pre-pick Jace in hopes that they are forced onto a Nara, and then they just have a winning top matchup by default. So smart read there from Mad Lions.
And of course, as you noted already, now we have double AD solo lanes with an AP jungler. So lane phase actually set up very well early on for Mad. Having a Black Shield for essentially 3 AD carries that are going to scale very well into the game is a good look. It is going to be tough, though, matching up against Maple Cinder. Of course, Humanoid very much got the better of Tinones in the previous game that he played, but Maple, a bit of a different beast. This man expecting to go much more even, I think, in Humanoid in lane.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Hanabi responds. He was hovering the Gnar. He could go for something tanky, like an Ornn or a Shen or something like this. Sion, we haven't really seen too much of that, but he might go for a Camille. I think Gnar is a bit risky. Yes, you do get the AD topside, but is it enough into something like a Jace when you have a losing topside jungle? But no, they're going to go for a Sion. I think that's a safe option when you've got Syndra, Rumble, Tristana, Leona. You already have enough damage and engage. Just give it a little bit more engage, a little bit more frontline. Buy some more space for your carries, especially against Lucian, Kai'Sa, Jace. You can build a lot of armor.
And of course, right now, for Humanoid in the mid lane, he's happy. He sees enemy jungle, enemy mid, both AP. He gets to buy Merc Treads. He gets to be happy. But if you're right now playing as Hanabi on the top side of the map, if you do not Giga feed in this lane, you are going to be unkillable. There is almost no magic damage present on this team. Carzzy has an option. He can go for Nashers. He can be a bit of a split magic damage source, but Morgana does not have the damage to get through a Sion as the sole source of magic damage.
And that's why I like the Sion pick, because you have enough engage. Just give it a little bit more engage and a little bit more frontline. You have a Leona's frontline. Picking something like the Camille there doesn't make much sense because you're playing a 1-4 comp into 1-3-1. Again, it's risky. We saw that from Pain Gaming as well. But if the Camille was to get ahead, then great. But I think it's going to be a tough task. I think picking a weak side top, playing towards bot side is a good idea. So let's take a look at both compositions. Mad Lions, 1-3-1, really strong early game jungle, really powerful bot lane in the all-in 2v2. So expect a lot of early aggression from them perhaps. And then PSG, it's more of just basically a full-on team fight comp. They want to group up, they want a team fight, they want to start objectives, look for turns with the Leona ult, with the Rumble ult, the Sion ult. So Mad Lions need to be careful. They have winning mid, they have winning top. Try to snowball those lanes early, so when it comes to the mid game, the 1-3-1 can push out sides, and then they don't have to risk too many 5v5s.
5v5s, though, are going to be truly terrifying. Similar story to the previous game. Mad Lions fell behind a bit up against Pain, but they were managed to bring it back in 2 back-to-back incredibly decisive team fights. A few picks as well helped them out on their way. We'll see what the levels look like in this game. The first time these teams played, it was an absolute slaughter in the favor of Mad Lions, but we've seen PSG talent have leveled up over the course of this tournament. They've got an AD carry that hasn't played with their team for the entire season, but he's getting more and more equipped, I think, to deal in this team environment. He has been looking better and better. So can Mad Lions find the same easy win they did last time with an incredibly dominant early game composition, or will they be tested this time by PSG talent?
But the one game Mad Lions lost the early game, they won the mid game. So maybe that's a good sign for them. If they fall behind, they should be able to bring it back. But what you're looking at in this game is, can Mad Lions solo lanes get ahead with the push that they have, or can PSG force fights and get the team fights rolling?
It's a good question. Now, last time we saw Mad on the Rift, if you're just joining us, was just a few hours ago. It's up against Pain. Pain spotted out and adapted well to a very aggressive level 1 from Mad Lions, invading, looking to shut down the Morgana. Now, admittedly, they are the ones with the Morgana this time around. And they've actually adapted. They've taken away a similar strategy that we saw from Pain. The Raptors adaptation, something that Kaiser, I think, very deliberately called out in his interview, we're now seeing coming in from Elyoya.
Yeah, and Kaiser doesn't have the sweeper, so I wouldn't expect a late invade from Mad Lions. Funny enough, PSG have Sion, Tristana, really good champions to look for a level 1 lane swap, but I think Armut ran forwards there in order to check where Sion was to make sure they weren't lane swapping. Kind of risky, you would imagine, especially if PSG put 5 numbers top, he probably would have died there, but gets the information that Sion's top, and there's not going to be a level 1 lane swap.
And I like the adaptation that we're seeing from Hanabi here, opting for the Summoner's Spellbook. Be honest here, he doesn't really get to lane against Lucian a whole lot, so having better Summoner spells for the team fight certainly going to feel much more important than having a Grasp in the lane phase.
Definitely can't proc the Grasp, just go for Spellbook. And if Armut walks up here for some information, he could get chunked out. Smartly checks the bush, and he won't get chunked out too hard, get some information for his team. That River is starting on the top side, whereas Elyoya kind of solo started there. Mad Lions' bot lane will show, and just gives a little bit more information to Mad. They know where the enemy jungler is, but PSG don't really know where Elyoya is. They expect him to start on blue buff, I suppose, though.
Morgana clear speed obviously going to be very fast, so you can start on the double camps. You get the cooldown reduction that much quicker on the Tormented Soil, so not a bad look. Rumble going to be able to match, though, pretty easily here when it comes to early clear speed. A lot of these lanes, and it's interesting because in the previous game we saw 2 teams completely unleashed, playing without fear, playing without any kind of remorse, but already in this game I feel like a little bit more hesitancy, a little bit more caution.
Yeah. And both teams playing to opposite sides. Elyoya is going to get Armut ahead, and River's going to play bot side with this weak side Sion top lane.
And of course, if you're interested, you can share your opinions, cheers, and well wishes using the Verizon 5G All Chat. Chance for your tweets to be featured on the broadcast. What do you got to say about this game, friends at home? What are your thoughts?
Let us know.
Right now, I think getting level 2 early on is kind of expected. Just on a very, very impressive level 1.
Yep.
I think probably going to be a bit of a different story once there's a few more levels on both sides. Could be a little bit more even, especially if Kaiser does manage to thread the needle there on the Nautilus hook.
Yeah, because their jungle started bot side, they kind of have to give up the push. Ooh, River was probably doing 2 camps at the same time. They're looking at the red buff's buffer sign. It's really low. It's trading really aggressively mid, but yeah, you expect top to get the push because jungle's pathing top. You expect bot to get the push because jungle's pathing bot in the enemy team. So both junglers full clearing. Elyoya wants to base soon perhaps to get his boots with the Predator, and maybe they want to try to punish top side. Now, I will admit Mad Lions' dives in the Pain game weren't so great. Robo did manage to win the 2v1, but this time around they have a really easy to execute dive. If the binding hits, it should just be a clean one-shot, and Mad Lions bot lane will be a little bit of a weak side here.
No, most certainly. And of course, an interesting position for the entire team in terms of, on the side of PSG in terms of defensive itemization, because you are looking at a Nautilus as well as a Morgana. So Merc treads feel good, but then you see the triple, obviously, AD threats, and you really feel like you're forced into those plated steel caps. See what the option is here.
Hanabi took a bad trade there. Elyoya was looking for it as Kaiser looks for a hook on the bot side. I saw Hanabi's HP. I thought Elyoya might want to look for some kind of dive with Armut pushing in the way, but no, drops a ward on the respawn Gromp to get information as to where River is going to base and pick up those boots.
Clean knockback there, making sure the channeled Q can't come out. Armut, though, does not want to overcommit in the exchange.
Yeah, clean mechanics there on the trade. Both of them going to base and TP back. You'd expect Humanoid also basing and TPing back. Maple doing the same. Kaiser.
Good input buffer on the auto attack. Very hard to pull that off.
Almost get the kill, but I think all TPs in the game are going to be used here, you'd expect, as Armut still hasn't based, but he probably will do soon. And both junglers going to their second clear. So not much action in this early game. Both junglers not really looking for ganks, just clearing, basing, and keeping up their clear speed tempo. Elyoya slightly ahead. You expect Mad Lions bot lane to base here as well. Almost a kill onto Doggo, but the good buffer on the jump. And Kaiwing might want to freeze his waves. That forces Kaiser to stay. Maybe if he drops a hook on him, Kaiwing will have to force to be run away.
X-Flash, just fighting him in the way. This is going to be some decent damage, but he's also stopping Karzi's back, so if they don't get a kill here, this is actually a pretty big cost to them overall.
Yeah, they lose a lot of time here. Elyoya might have to path down to make sure they're covered on this push out. They know that River's topside though, so they don't have to be too scared, and they are in the end going to crash the wave, and they're going to base as Elyoya, ahead in the clear with the mid push, is going to take away these second respawn Raptors from River, and that all comes down to this early ward on the top side of the map on that Gromp that you can see on the minimap. Elyoya spotted out River, he knew that he was further ahead in clear than him, and he could take his second respawn.
Overall, strong early game for the Mad Lions. CS advantages in the top, kind of as expected. Lucian with a small lead in mid lane, not quite as big as his previous mid lane matchup, but still pulling ahead.
Yeah, this Jace needs to get a little bit more ahead than he currently is to start winning out on the side lane enough to give them the pressure to stop the Sion from being up to base and look for engages. Humanoid might face check River here though.
Humanoid taking a lot of damage, but still playing pretty confident. Stepping forward to the auto attack there feels bold, but of course the Black Shield's in the area against all these magic damage champions. But Elyoya waiting on vision. The flash in, no chance to Black Shield. The immediate chain CC, it's flawless execution, but Elyoya still managed to find a way out. Maple flashes over the wall, he's gonna grab first blood. River on the run. No one has dropped from the side of PSG. Kaiwing gonna be the sacrifice here, but Humanoid has no mana to follow up. All of PSG outside of Kaiwing is gonna make it away, and Kaiwing takes him on a journey, just manages to hit level 6 off the way, but no Maple! Turns and burns. It's too clean from the PSG mid laner.
Oh, you could see what Humanoid was trying to do kind of off screen. He was trying to hit the creeps to level up. He did. He got the culling, but the execution from Maple was clean when Humanoid flashed forwards. Just had enough mana to get the knockback with the Q. Takes him down in the 1v1. It was going to be a 1-for-1. Armut almost found River there. That could have been a kill for him. But in the end, this ward was such an MVP for PSG. They pull the trigger onto Elyoya so quickly that he can't react, and Maple flashes over the wall and makes sure he's dead. Now, Kaiwing's kind of stuck here in between 3 people. He's accepted that he's dead. He has no flash. He was the key engage point. Now look at Humanoid on the top side of the screen. You can see he's chasing Maple, and I think here he thinks that the fight's over. But he kills this creep on the left side, gets level 6, and then he looks for the culling all in, and then he gets the passive double shot, so he flashes forward for the kill, but Maple gets the stun and just about lives.
And the level up on top of it. Oh, look at that. That's a smile. You know exactly, they know how well they played that. That was clean.
Yep.
1 moment opportunity. That was definitely a play where a single misclick would have turned it in the favor of Mad Lions, but PSG managed to come out on top.
Yeah, and all the numbers were committed there. 4 people on the bot side of the map for this Dragon. I think both teams wanted to start it, or at least contest for some kind of vision. Mad Lions right now have a lot of vision on the map. You can see their pink wards, 3 of them. 1 in the top side brush, and 2 on the bot side of the map on the entrance red. and on the entrance blue. So a little bit of control for Mad Lions. Maybe they want to start up the Dragon soon, but Rumble level 6, Syndra level 6, there's a lot of burst to work with on the side of PSG.
Yeah, even Armut, who is very much pulling very far ahead, has to give a little bit of respect when enemy jungler comes up, because if Sion ults into you and there's a Rumble ult paired with that, you are still probably going to die no matter how strong you are in the individual 1v1. Of course, Hanabi getting tankier and tankier. Bomby Cinder on this back alongside the cloth armor from a previous back. Not quite able to ignore Jace at this stage of the game, but certainly feeling very good.
And that's the thing about Jace. He's not very good in grouped up fights unless he has space to work with, but against things like Sion, Syndra, Leona, Rumble, it's going to be really hard for Armut to find fights, especially with only really a few points of engage, barring a Nautilus. So he's going to be really focusing on the side lanes. But Hanabi has Ignite now, so Armut has to be careful on his top side of the map.
It's also a bit awkward for him because Maple is very strong, so if he ends up having to deal with that, he has not opted for any magic resistance yet.
Really good macro play here from PSG. Now Armut was freezing top for the last 30 seconds. Hanabi runs up there, and because the wave's frozen on his side, that means PSG have pushing top, and they can start up this Herald. 3 pink wards all across the river, and you can see PSG's bot lane. We're hovering around mid in case Mad Lions maybe want to try contested. Now they go back bot. They know it's secured. Really good topside vision, and that's a really good pickup for PSG. No Dragon response just yet from Mad Lions. I think Elyoya is going to run down there after Humanoid pushed out mid-wave, but this Herald's really nice for them. If they can use it on mid, they should get Maple a little bit further ahead, who's already 2-0.
X-Flash in from Kaiser. He showed that creep who's boss. The sad B and the thumbs up. I respect Doggo and Kaiwing for that. That is maximum BM.
Maximum BM indeed. Mad Lions starting up the Dragon. River based and ran from base to bot side, so he wants to contest the bot side of the map, maybe pick up his red, get level 7. Try to find a window to pop this Herald. Humanoid, no flash. If Hanabi can move down the river, maybe River can group up with him. They can take him down and Herald that mid tower. That's probably what PSG are looking at, whereas Mad Lions just want to focus on his top side, you'd expect. Armut
still coming out on top in these trades. Obviously would love to have a full item under his belt as the bits and pieces feel like they are in favor of Hanabi. Hanabi does have the Ignite to manage to sidestep a little bit more. Armut now running out to safety. I don't think he wins out on this one. Ignite goes down. That's an auto. Shell-shocked.
Armut dies to the Sion. I don't know if he knew he had Ignite. He seemed to not flash away so preemptively, so maybe he didn't know about the Ignite, but this is a disaster. This is the thing where you say, I can counterpick top, or I can play a carry match up top, and then you get solo killed by the tank who's supposed to team fight, and you're supposed to win the lane. It's a disaster for Mad Lions, and that's going to relieve so much pressure for Hanabi once he bases. Yeah, big blunder from Armut.
And everyone on EUS has seen that one before. You know what to call it.
Oh, River's
coming
behind top here. Kaiwing just hit 6.
Kaiser has to be careful. That's going to be Equalizer across 3 members of the team. The Equalizer
huge ult!
Follow-up. CC is there. Carzzy now running for his life. Here comes Humanoid on the backside, though, but it's Maple in the midst of everybody. He's going to finish off Carzzy. No, Kaiser getting out there just barely. Carzzy, rather, with the ultimate, but Doggo now on the chase. Binding goes wide. Doggo now hunting. Doggo looking for more. PSG Maple off to the side. Can he find a follow-up stun? Ulti goes in onto Elyoya, but no one else is there to do damage. It is a single kill in favor of PSG.
Yeah, Kaiser hooked Kaiwing, but I think he leveled up as he got hooked. The Herald's going to get placed. They have a wave to work with. They have Tristana too, so this tower is going to get a little bit melted here. I don't think they're going to lose the entire tower, but that's going to be a lot of plates across the PSG.
Plates getting split across the team, but overall, PSG starting to pull ahead 1,000 in their favor. They get a solo bolo in the top lane coming in from Hanabi. Everything looking good for this lineup.
Solo bolo top, solo bolo mid, and then they make a play bot side. They net themselves a kill. They get a lot of plates into bot side as well. And the Mad Lions bot lane lose their flashes. So the next time an engage comes in from PSG, it's going to be very difficult for them to get away from things like the Equalizer. But we'll look at this again. Kaiwing level 5. I think Kaiser hooks in here because he hits level 6. But as he hooks, I wonder if Kaiwing's the one that levels up from that creep. Yes, it does die. And then watch, Mad Lions try to run away from the Equalizer, and then the Leona ult doesn't catch Carzzy, but it's such a big slow as well. Elyoya is forced to black shield himself, and PSG claps first with a TP from Maple.
The initial 1-for-1 doesn't feel too bad. Of course, as the play goes on, you can see very tense exchange. Ultimately, though, it is pressure in favor of PSG. While it wasn't even 1-for-1, the plate's going in their favor. Oh, now Kaiwing waiting in the darkness here.
I wonder if he was spotted out. Maybe that's why he's backing off, but Armut no flash. If he walked up there, he would have died.
Ooh, and the free boots have come through now, too, from Hanabi.
Yeah, he's having a good time up here. He's only down around 10 CS, but he got a solo kill, so he's definitely heading goal of Armut. Hasn't lost any plates on his tower either, so both junglers focusing towards the bot side of the map, and the Jace hasn't really netted a big lead to make it meaningful in any sense, so we'll have to see if Armut can get himself ahead a little bit more as Mad Lions continue to play bot side. 2 minutes on the Dragon, Maple no flash. Maybe Kaiser's looking for a pick here.
Waiting in the darkness. This brush has been warded before. Do they know Maple's in the area? Maple warded out. It's going to be the immediate calling for the follow-up. That's the CC, the Equalizer laid down on the backside, but that is the shutdown. It goes over to the back pockets of Kaiser. Not ideal, but they can keep this fight going. Kaiwing continuing to step forward. Humanoid off to the side. Quick dash in.
Doggo.
A double tap. Doggo, as you said, off to the side. River is going to do a lot of damage to Humanoid if he can get in close. They're trying to burn him down. Doggo leaping over the wall, but is going to back away.
Good play from Mad Lions. Now Karzi can push in bot and start getting playthings. Doggo has to run down there. El Yo-Yo knows that, so he's running bot side as well. Maybe they can zone away Doggo from this wave and get themselves more of a gold advantage than just a kill.
Mad Lions moving down. Zoning him away would be important. For now, it's just going to be the single plate. Solely into the back pocket of Karzi, though. That's going to be important. Now the follow-up, the creep is there, and we'll body block that binding happily.
Yeah, and Karzi has the Q upgrade, so he can clear the wave quite quickly. The binding doesn't connect. The wave was in the way. So just a kill from Mad Lions, but a really important kill onto Maple, which was a shutdown. They do end up picking that up, and that relieves Humanoid a little bit. As we see this again, I think they knew he walked into this bush. Maybe they had vision, because the pink insta-ult comes out. He gets picked off. I think Kaiser gets the kill, though, so that's really unfortunate for the shutdown. River's forced to flash, and a winning play for Mad Lions. Humanoid also losing his flash in this exchange, but Karzi is also a big winner from this, pushing out bot waves and getting a plating.
Most certainly. Kaiwing giving up his flash as well as his stopwatch could be disastrous in the fights to come, but shouldn't hurt too badly overall. And honestly, a neck-and-neck game. It feels like so many trades just going back and forth. It's a 1,000 gold lead now to Mad Lions.
The biggest worry I have is Armut's level 9, Hanabi's level 10, and Hanabi's getting the top push now. That's really difficult for Mad Lions, especially when you're playing a Jace who can't push and get plates on an isolated lane. River, no flash, though.
River potentially going to get locked up here. Does have the equalizer, though, not even going to use it. Quick kill coming in for the side of Mad.
Yep, big mistake there from River. Gives a kill over to Mad Lions, but again, it goes on Kaiser. Unfortunate there, but Humanoid's picked up the Gale Force. Karzi probably has his mythic item in base as well. And Mad Lions, mid-bot side, is winning out. PSG getting caught off 1 by 1 in this early game.
Ooh, and Cadril. Final game, we weren't sure what form of both these teams were going to see. We weren't sure what kind of game it was going to be, but it is definitely all out from both sides. Big test, though. Hanabi proving that he can weather the storm. Arma now finishing that item. It's going to be good to have the Eclipse. Is it going to be enough for him to start winning out on this matchup? Because losing out, dying in the 1v1 is rough, because Sion is certainly going to reliably offer more in the team fights. So it's on Arma now to make up that difference.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but this winning mid-bot side for Mad Lions secures them a second dragon. So it will be a Mountain or a Cloud, so not the greatest of souls. It's going to be a Mountain. Not much frontline for Mad Lions, but the Nautilus will benefit from it with the shields from the burst from Syndra as well. So if they can get that soul, that'll definitely help them in the late game. 2 dragons secured for them. And we'll have to see how the game progresses, because Herald's just spawned now as well. Feels like Mad Lions have the mid-bot push, but Karzi needs to base soon. Armut and Hanabi have TP. Hanabi still up in XP on Armut and has the push. Armut has no vision to work with. Look at the top side of the map. He just wanted Herald to check it, but he has no vision to work with, and he's been solo killed, so it's really hard for him to pressure this top tower. And PSG might get themselves a bot tier 1 here.
Should be pretty solid pick. Of course, no plates remaining. Won't matter. Still a lot of money over to Doggo. 450 gold for him. Good to have, as he only has the Gale Force completed currently. The extra serrated dirt currently on the side of Karzi, but all is quiet right now in this game. Both teams moving, both teams trying to find setup around this second Herald. Not the most important objective on the map, but certainly can provide a lot more pressure.
Yeah, ping's coming onto Karzi though. PSG see Karzi show on bot tier 2, so maybe there was a world where they could contest it, but no. Maple's gonna base. Hanabi probably gonna give that blue buff over to Maple, you'd expect, but Mad Lions giving up bot tier 1 to secure this Herald. Bot tier 1 was bound to die, but PSG are around, the TP's coming in. It looks like they do want to contest it. Karzi's bot and Doggo's on the way. Mad Lions might have to back off here.
They split the team. They're trying to reset the Herald. The Herald will not reset. This is disastrous from Mad. Yes, the objective isn't too important, but when you leash it for your ally, it's an easy pickup for PSG. They lost nothing and get the Herald in return.
Maybe they can cross map here though. Humanoid's pushed in mid. Maybe he can push in this mid wave. Maybe he can get the tier 1. I doubt it. And then he can move towards bot and they can focus on this bot tier 1 as Humanoid's going aggressive. Culling goes wide though.
Culling goes wide. Gale Force, it looks like it just runs him into the wall. So a bit of damage onto Kaiwing, a bit more priority in the mid lane. Allows them to take the tower. In the meantime, that is going to be big, but they're going to have to contest with the Herald of PSG in a few moments.
This is a good move from Karzi. Moves towards mid, so his jungle support can cover top. They don't want Armut to get dove. They don't have the information to deal with it. They want to make sure this Jace can get to the mid game at least slightly ahead. Send it, Lions.
Nexar, send it, Lions. Send it, Lions.
Okay, got him.
Got him. You gotta read it out completely. We aren't gonna do our boys of Verizon like that, you know?
You got them. I respect.
They want the whole tweet, they get the whole tweet.
But yeah, looking at the game state, looks like Doggo swapped towards the top side. Let's focus on his top tier 1. Hanabi has Ghost on Sion and should have some bot push, but the good thing for Mad Lions here is they have mid wave. They have the mid tower, and if they can push it in deep, they should be able to control the sides first. But as I say that, PSG get the wave in, Karzi needs the base, and they can run towards the top side. Armut has to be careful here. If they move for a full dive, he's going to have to give up this tower.
And I love the way PSG are moving in to lay down vision to try to set River up to take some of these camps away. El Yo-Yo is going to be here, but too little too late. Rumble just instantly shreds that camp.
And small thing to note, River still has Herald. They stole it away from Mad Lions under their nose by forcing them to back off. So if they get this top tier 1, they can move mid and use the Herald mid, as Hanabi is the weak side. Humanoid should win out, but I say that, but Hanabi is so tanky.
Hanabi's incredibly tanky. Humanoid, of course, not opting for anything besides the Gale Force, not going for the Kraken Slayer here, so won't just be able to absolutely win out on the 1v1. Over time, maybe he can get it done, but for now, again, it is another Herald, it looks like, potentially just going to be solely donated over to Doggo. Really focusing him in terms of gold, but Karzi's waiting over the wall. Kaiwing potentially in trouble. Massive isolated damage coming in from the Kaisa. Ooh. The ulti hits, but it's already been black shielded, and now they can just collapse. River taken down. It's clean. It's decisive. Mad Lions find the picks.
Really good picks for Mad Lions. They're just walking up too far, PSG, after getting the tower. They were sticking around. I'm not really sure what for. Maybe they wanted to look for some kind of deep vision. Kaiser punishes it. Karzi was around. So much burst from this Kaisa onto the Leona, and River falls shortly after. Not very tanky with the current items, so they get shredded by Karzi, who's 2-0-3. Really, really strong on this Kaisa. And Mad Lions still have the mid push. Maple needs to be careful here. He might have to flash away.
Maple, what's he going to do? Playing this one slow. TP now used. Humanoid has to respect. Gale Force out, Black Shield.
That's a good force, though. TP out of top. And what do they lose for it? Nothing. So Mad Lions can base. Net positive for them, and we'll see if PSG want to force something here with this TP. They have some tempo on the map. Maybe they want to try to take some vision before the dragon spawns.
Ooh, and Kadril again. Tension's high in the final game of the day, the final game of this group. Both these teams are making it out. If you're just joining us, this is simply a battle for who will make it out first. Doesn't impact the second stage, but obviously pride and performance on the line here prove that you are ready for the next stage.
Definitely does, and I wonder how much gold Karzi has. Doesn't have 2 items completed yet, whereas Doggo does. Sitting on 900, so he wouldn't be able to complete the Collector, but it's all about the Dragon. If Mad Lions get this, they're on Dragon Soul point for the Mountain Dragon. PSG, Humanoid going aggressive, trying to zone them away. Maple gets chunked out a lot, and he doesn't have TP.
Maple going to have outs very big, because it's an easy ulti from Karzi into the backside if a single piece of CC hits him, or is able to find it. The Void Seeker.
Yeah, really good poke from Mad Lions. They force Maple to base 10 seconds before the dragon spawns, so you'd expect them to be able to rush it down. But that TP's coming up in about 5 seconds, I think, so he can TP back to the fight if PSG want to take it. Humanoid has no culling. Karzi has the killer instinct coming up soon, but look at
TP.
Hanabi. He might want to look for an engage. They have to go soon or this dragon's going to get bursted down.
Maple off to the flank. Eyes on Hanabi's ult combined with River's ult. River only level 10. It's going to be a little bit rough, but maybe they can make it work. Here comes the ult in. Humanoid had the flash out from downtown, but the equalizer goes wide. The dragon's already gone down. Humanoid trying to find Maple, but he's almost one shot. Hanabi flashes in for the last auto, but in the meantime, his entire team is being decimated. Arma with the flashback over the wall. So far, it is a 1-for-1 in the fight. It is a full-on 4v4, but it is Mad who've taken the dragons. It is Mad who will walk away with the fight.
Yeah, Kaiwing was just buying time there while Hanabi, Maple, and River all focused down Humanoid. He had the flash, but he couldn't get away. Mad Lions are on Dragon Soul point. Binding's coming across. Mad Lions, they have the killer instinct.
Karzi into the midst of everybody, but he's immediately exhausted. He has to flash into safety. Hanabi with a clutch spellbook exhaust will make sure that River survives.
River still had the flash as well. Doesn't have a stopwatch to work with though, but you can see the damage coming out of this Kaisa. Shreds through the Leona. Really good communication from both teams in the team fight. Lots of summoners blown, but Mad Lions get the objective. They're on Dragon Soul point. 4 minutes until that spawns. And you can see the problem that Mad Lions have in the fights because Hanabi is so tanky. I'm not sure if Karzi can burst him down that quickly. Still not got 2 items. But as we take a look at this again, the TP from Maple, he got chunked out early on. And look at the communication from PSG. I think they're all focusing the Lucian here. Look at them all just committing. And I think Kaiwing goes in on the left side of the fight just to buy time. Otherwise, Mad Lions could perhaps collapse behind Maple. So look at Kaiwing. He's just going in to prevent them from being able to collapse onto Maple. He does end up losing his life. Maybe he didn't need to do that, but doesn't want to let Maple get caught.
And in the new Axe Effect replay, ultimately Mad Lions were the team that came out on top. It's still a 1-for-1. Now you can see, in theory, how these team fights are going to get harder for Mad Lions as the game goes on. The Rumble Equalizer ultimately not very effective. If that lands, it could be a very different story. But that's also the power of Sion, folks. Look at that damage.
Most damage, most health, full tank, question mark.
Hack, 200.
Hacking.
There's a reason Boss one-tricks his champion. Very, very powerful, obviously, as tanks go. If you can fully channel a Q, if you can get that max range ultimate. I think it's 1,200 base damage at max rank, so
yeah. Powerful champ. Lots of base damage on that champion, definitely. And you can see Hanabi has the bot lane push, doesn't have TP. That's why he keeps grouping with his team, because if Armut was to pull the trigger on a top TP ward and commit to a 5v4, Hanabi would have to ult up the river. So he'd get there late, and PSG want to push out these side waves so they can control mid, control the Baron vision, and control the map. Mad Lions gonna sweep out their vision. Hanabi needs to catch waves. That means Armut should have a turn to move around the map. But I think PSG have a lot more engaged than Mad Lions do. It's all down to the hook from Kaiser. If he can find perhaps Doggo or Maple, they can burst them with the killer instinct. But they're gonna play back and they're gonna play for vision.
Taking their time. course, they're going to be in a very advantageous state in about 2.5 minutes where it is the pressure is on PSG to take the Dragon. Maybe that gives opportunity for Mad to move up towards the Baron. Again, as you mentioned, no real front line, so while they may kill the objective very quickly, they will take a lot of damage in the process.
Yeah, the game's all about vision here. Look at the amount of wards Mad Lions have on this topside river. PSG grouping up to clear it out. Hanabi basing and grouping with his team. PSG's comp is all about grouping in team fights, whereas Mad Lions want to push out these side waves and force PSG to split up. They don't want to group and just look for a straight 5v5. That would be a little bit risky for them. One good engage from PSG and the carries are dead from Mad Lions. Carzzy no flash, Humanoid no flash. Really risky to walk up against things like Leona Sion.
Really good poke coming from Armut. There's not going to be follow-up here. Doggo just going to be forced to back away, but you can see the threat that PSG provide. Yes, if they're able to find angles. Carzzy, not going to go in. If they're able to find angles onto the side, if they're able to hit Doggo, it certainly looks good for Mad Lions, but that 5-man stack is very threatening.
Yeah, definitely. The poke from Armut is massive. Doggo losing almost 60% of his HP in one shock blast, so Mad Lions maybe going as 4 members and just trying to poke out the carries like they did onto Maple before the Dragon spawned. Is there a way to win these fights? 1 minute, 20 seconds on the Dragon. I think PSG might want to trade some kind of Baron here for the Soul. Maybe if Mad Lions tunnel vision too hard onto this Dragon, PSG can burst it down. They have a lot of damage for it. And Humanoid's on the side lane, taking down this bot tier 1, has the TP to join his team. And PSG haven't really put too much bot vision. There's still a minute left, so they can still definitely do it, but Kaiwing only has 2 wards left, and they've put the most of them topside.
PSG, a lot of them waiting in the darkness. Hanabi has the TP up and available, level 14. All armor, to the surprise of no one. If he can act as frontline for PSG in these team fights, if he can keep them away from his backline on the side of Mad Lions, they will absolutely win out. Hitting this Scion is the fastest way to lose a fight. But if Mad Lions with Humanoid on the Gale Force, with the incredible mobility that the Kai'Sa brings to the table, or Armut finding a flank, if they manage to get into the backline and Scion is ineffective, then all of PSG is just going to be routed.
Yeah, and Hanabi has a barrier as well, so he just got even tankier. Armut has the TP for bot side. He's going to move down regardless because he can poke them out on the objective. Humanoid's going to TP mid for the tempo. Doesn't want to be too far behind in time. Make sure his team can contest these mid waves and keep this vision. They don't want PSG to walk up. Hanabi's going to push out this bot wave and he's going to move towards mid. We could see some kind of 5v5 soon. I think the shock blast will be really important from Armut. If he can chunk out the carries or if they can use the culling to chunk out Doggo, that could be big.
Maple as well, going to be big here. If he can one-shot one of the squishier members of the team. Good news for Mad Lions is that they've got the non-committal CC of the Morgana binding. They can throw it out and they can fish without having to commit too much. But the Dragon, it's been started. And this is it. Battle lines are drawn. Mad Lions win here. They get the Soul. Sets them up to take the next major objective as well. PSG, they cannot let that happen. Big Shock Blast goes wide. Solid start for PSG so far. Can't afford to let anyone get hit by the binding. A clean sidestep from Doggo, but he's in the pit. Taking a bit of damage from the Dragon. Hanabi waiting. Ulti now going in. Kaiser needs to be ready to body block, and he is. The entire team now following up, but that is a clean equalizer. Leona coming in for the follow-up as well. They've managed to take the Dragon. They've managed to buy the time that they need on the side of PSG. Do they want to keep the fight going? No. They got what they came for.
Really smart play from PSG, playing through bot. They don't have any vision on this top side of the bot lane river. You can see all the pink wards Mad Lions have. They can't face check that vision. Let's go through bot. Good setup. Doggo, really cocky movement, dodging out from the shock blast, and the binding allows him to walk up. Eventually, Hanabi just has to pull the trigger. Otherwise, they're on a timer, and Mad Lions might be able to finish the Drake. They do end up denying the Soul point. Mad Lions can't go towards this Baron. And you can see how the team fights progress. If you get one good engage, Carzzy getting knocked up into an equalizer, instantly has to flash cleanse ult away. And from there, PSG can start to move forward. It gets really tricky for Mad Lions. But they don't lose their lives. They get out, but they don't get the Mountain Soul just yet. This game will prolong a little bit longer.
The big thing for Mad in that fight is they lost twice. They lost the Mountain Drake and they lost both the flashes of Carzzy and Elyoya. Those will be massive in the next fights. Baron is up. If PSG are in a position to contest, the Kai'Sa as well as the Morgana not having those flashes could mean everything.
Hanabi Spellbook again has the cleanse. So if he gets hit by a binding, he could cleanse it away and catch Mad Lions off guard. We'll have to keep track of that. Spellbook interesting in these fights, and you can see Hanabi without TP wants to group up and kind of contest vision with his team. Game's really, really even at this point.
It's rough. I mean, Kadro, I think execution on the side of Mad has to be flawless. I think for PSG, as long as they wait for a good equalizer, they are going to have consistently good fights.
It's all about positioning, I think. It's all about positioning. It's all about poke. If Mad Lions can dodge away from the engage, they should be able to poke them out and chase them down with the amount of range champions. They have 4 range champions. JCS can go melee. But if PSG can get these melee champions on you, get the Syndra Sun, get the Leona and get the Scion in, then Mad Lions can't really run away.
Very difficult. Hanabi very, very strong in this game. Obviously very far behind in CS, but with all that armor, he is essentially unkillable. So much bonus health as well coming in from the Scion passive. This man was made to frontline.
Yeah, it's all about mid waves. Both teams just want to keep the mid push, because if one team has more mid push than the other, they can control the river. Mad Lions pushing the wave, and they're moving towards Nash. They got vision on Doggo on the bot side of the map. Maybe they want to start and look for a turn. It would be risky though. They don't have anyone to really tank it, barring Kaiser. But the stun hits onto Humanoid.
No follow-up.
Hanabi is forced to catch bot wave. He has cleanse. He might have to use it here to look for a TP if Mad Lions start up this Baron.
Mad have to only want TP unless they can successfully sneak this away, because River has ultimate. River is level 12.
They need to get there soon, though.
Humanoid sidestep there is clean. Flash from Kaiwing already gone. Equalizer across the backside. They have to burn it. They have to burn it quickly. Mad managed to take the Baron. Doggo now on the hunt. Maple on the hunt. El Yo-Yo alive for now. Dashing forward. Doggo with the Gale Force trying to reset. Leaping in. He's going to take down one. They're going to look for more. It's Humanoid off on the backside. He knows he has to turn back. Humanoid could collapse on the flank. It is a scrappy fight, and that is exactly what Mad Lions want. PSG trying to find the front line, trying to find the setup. It's Hanabi on the flank. The ulti in, but they're dashing aside, and he'll just hit the wall. Now in the midst of everything, but they're hitting the tank. It's not ideal, but still that's enough. They have enough damage to burn through Hanabi. Hanabi has to make it out of the fight. Humanoid off to the side. Carzzy in the midst of everything. Hanabi goes into zombie mode. He's trying to burn them down, but he just does not have the damage to do so. Humanoid leaping forward. Maple's ult just does not do enough. Maple wants to finish the job, but the flash out is there, and they managed to get it. It's a triple for Carzzy. The fight for Mad Lions and the Baron to boot.
Mad Lions, this team fight never lets them down. They kited it out so well. Hanabi was kind of dizzy there. He couldn't really find a target. Carzzy gets the killer instinct, gets a triple kill, and I feel like PSG were caught napping there. Hanabi clearing out bot wave with cleanse, has to use it and then wait for the TP to come up. I think it's about 5 to 10 seconds, and by then Mad Lions already finished it. PSG dropped the ball. Mad Lions punish it. 5,000 gold lead and the Baron. Kaiwing tries to flash onto Humanoid. That's 1 point to engage down, and now they get the Baron, but River kind of goes way too deep here on the side. Mad Lions collapse on him and take him down. El Yo-Yo no flash from earlier on. Another key thing here is Mad Lions kite PSG to perfection.
Look at the way they're split. Doggo can't commit to either side because Humanoid is waiting on the flank. He knows if he overcommits, Maple is probably set to fall here, and the Scion ult goes in, but he's not the frontline they need. And yes, as the frontliner, you want to take damage, but if your carries are not hitting while you are taking damage, that is worthless. You are worthless in the exchange, and sadly for Hanabi, this was not his fight as Mad Lions just dissect his backline.
Yeah, Maple tries to take down Humanoid with the flash forwards to get the shutdown perhaps and deny the Baron buff, but Humanoid flashes the Q. I think he might have lived anyway, but Maple could have used W to follow up. Triple kill for Carzzy. They get the Baron. Dragon is up in 30 seconds as well. That's Dragon Soul for the side of Mad Lions, who are so far ahead at this point. Armut has TP if he wants to join mid, and Mad Lions have full setup right now.
Just look at that damage in the last team fight from Carzzy. That is wild. And now with the Baron power play, the Red Bull Baron power play, they're going to be able to get a lot of work done here. It's important to remember, though, that PSG's 5v5 is still incredible. Mad Lions still need to find fights like that. They are not far enough ahead that they can just hit PSG with their wallets. If Hanabi is frontlining while Doggo is free hitting, this will still be a difficult fight for Mad.
Yeah, Mad have the Baron buff, though, so they can push in these mid waves so easily. Yes, Doggo has 3 items, but Humanoid's level 17.
Incredibly strong, pushing in with the culling, trying to guide the wave, but PSG willing to just tank these creeps. Maple willing to go to half health just to clear this one out. But that said, it's Mountain Soul, uncontested for Mad Lions with mid-wave in their favor. No room for PSG to contest.
Yeah, that's really going to help Mad Lions against champions like Syndra, Tristana, Rumble. Lots of burst. And that should help them out in the team fights a lot with that extra shield, and Mad Lions just kind of grouping up here. They have a really nice top wave stacking for them and a really nice bot wave stacking. So looks like they're going to choose bot wave. PSG going to try to clear out top wave. Mad Lions playing on 2 lanes, mid bot here. I won't be surprised to see them push into this tier 3 and help Humanoid get this bot tier 2.
Battle for first place. Right now, looks like it will end in the favor of Mad. 5-1 would be their final score, 4-2 to PSG. Both these teams going through regardless. And while their seeding ultimately won't matter, Mad Lions seem to have PSG figured out. That could all change with this fight, though. Doggo free hitting. On to Kaiser for now, but there's more juicy backline targets. That said, the ultimate now coming in. Doggo forced out. Kaiwing, they're trying to buy space, but it's Humanoid off on the flank. Doggo forced to use the Gale Force away. Mad Lions not giving anything up. Hanabi is down. Kaiwing is down. The front line is gone for PSG. This should be a feast for Mad Lions. There was no one left to defend. The binding hits. Maple goes gold and buys a brief moment, but it simply cannot be enough. Equalizer down. Kaiser now going to be in trouble. He's burning. He's ticking, but the tower does not continue to hit. Doggo in the midst of enemy territory, forced to dash out, forced to get out. The culling coming down, River out. Mad Lions.
Mad Lions have a bot wave. They have a mid wave. 20 seconds on PSG, though. I think they're just going to get 2 inhibitors here, Dracos, and they're going to back off. It's not going to be the end of the game. They couldn't find more targets. River flashing away. And it was a good engage from PSG. Hanabi CC'd Carzzy for quite a long time, but there was no carries nearby.
PSG, just about 10k down. Mountain Soul stacked against them. 2 minutes to the Baron, 4.5 till the Elder Dragon spawns. Again, their composition built for team fighting. The goal deficit, though, now, while not insurmountable, feels just about that. the Mountain Soul, a lot of these more vulnerable members feel much less vulnerable. The bases of Sion feel much less big than they did in some of those first few fights. But maybe with perfect execution, PSG can come out on top. As we head into groups, if Mad win here, they'd be 2-0 up. PSG would get the chance to play them 2 more times. Certainly mental edge to Mad Lions in any games that follow if they manage to take both games here in the first stage.
Yeah, should be smooth sailing to clean this one out. Just push in top and look to threaten both the Nexus towers while also hitting onto the top tier 3. But the Baron spawning in a minute, they can also play it slow if they want to. Karzi sitting at 4 items, Arm at 3 items, so strong, all these carries of Mad Lions, these 4 range champions. It's so difficult for PSG to get on top of them. Yes, they have arguably a better team fight in the sense that they have a lot of spells that can lock down Mad Lions, but if they kite away with the Black Shield and dodge away from these kind of stuns, these ultimates, they should be able to kite them out, and they have way more damage than PSG on paper. They're so far ahead, so they definitely have more damage, and they're going to push in top here. Just as top inhibitors left, and PSG might need to use Rumble ult here to clear out the wave if they want to defend this. I think Mad Lions might just try to pressure it down.
Difficult spot to be in. Doggo's already pushed up mid-wave though. Maybe they can find a fight here, but you can just see the individual auto attack damage from Armut is so incredible. That's going to be a long-range ult though, connecting on a Humanoid. Black Shield is there. They're trying to get the fight kicked off, but Kaiser's going to body block for the team. Lock into the Iron Star comes out. He buys a bit more space for them to work with. They're on the retreat now, respecting the passive from Hanabi. Mad Lions not looking to give anything up in the exchange.
Yeah, Mad Lions kiting back so well there. The ult comes out from Yona. They need to stop the siege because look at the waves in mid and bot. They have to start a fight and maybe stop Mad Lions' siege. In the end, they end up losing Hanabi. Now they have no frontline. Mad Lions can do whatever they want.
Humanoid with sidestep. He's just moving in. He's just trying to find Predator. Going forward, Elyoya going to use the Predator to get into the back line. Humanoid doing so much damage, doing so much work on the entire team. Doggo trying to sidestep, but he just doesn't, maybe, does not have the damage. Just enough health coming back in for Humanoid on that back play. Doggo running to safety. He's going to get taken down. Kai Wing, again, also vulnerable. Mad Lions moving up. They're breaking the base. They're breaking the Nexus. They'll take first seed in their group uncontested with a 2-0 head-to-head over PSG.
Really clean game from Mad Lions. Karzi and Kaiser, 16-15 of the 17-18 kills that they had. And 4 range champions with the Nautilus, kiting out really well against this almost team fight composition. Lots of frontline from PSG, really well played, poking them out, kiting them around, and they end up winning the fights. And when the Baron fell, the siege was inevitable.
For Mad Lions, feels good. Remember that while ultimately this game didn't decide whether or not they made it out of groups, this was a team that lost. That was not able to make it into the main Worlds group stage, that was not able to make their way out of play-ins. So to make it here out of round 1, in first seed, looking so solid in these team fights, is a confidence booster, both for the Mad Lions and for the European fans.
Yeah, this is a much different Mad Lions than last year. This is a Mad Lions to get excited about. First in their group,